All right. I do believe that'll settle us in. Hey guys, hey, how's it going? Hey, it's me, it's Tech. It's Tech Good. How you guys doing? I'm a little late, but I made it. Oh gosh. Don't freeze up at me now, game. There it is. Wait. All right. It has been quite a while for a couple things. It's been a while since I had a Good Friday stream, and it's been a while since we did anything of the devil. Uh, Apparently, part 2 just recently came out. I'm gonna look into that later. This is a good game, which apparently won. Shit, I didn't like take a picture for myself because I was like, yeah, it does make sense. I think it either won or was nominated for like Steam Indie Game Award or something. Ah, I wish I knew. It definitely deserves it, whether it was an award or a nomination. It were it, and honestly, it deserves both. It's very fun. It's a very fun and cool game and nice atmosphere and stuff. Normally, I like to leave music that I can put on as backdrop for getting ready. But did man, the atmosphere of the devil is just so good. I just I like leaving it on. I Even though it has been a number of months since I last touched this game, uh, it was never far from my mind. Let's say, uh, I'm just like, yeah, that was a good game. This is a really good game with unique stuff going on. Uh, and I always felt like I needed to be smoking a cigarette. I don't smoke like at all. Anything. I'm terrible at it, apparently. I think this is a story that I've told before, but a friend, when I was living somewhere else, gave me. We were in a highly weed smoking state and city, um, but I hadn't done it, and I didn't really know where to go to do that. But I knew like it was cool there. Um, and all of my coworkers at the time were like, "Yeah, we smoke weed. Sometimes we'll go and do a joint or something. Do a joint. What the fuck am I saying?" Um, so I had shown interest, and one of my friends on the job with me was like, "Hey, yeah, man, just give me a little like I can give you one if you want." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem." So the next day, or the next time we saw each other, because kind of inconsistent shifts. The next day we saw each other. They gave me a joint of some description, and I was like, "Yeah, that's really good stuff." So you just have at it, and I was like, "Cool, cool." So the I think over the weekend, that next weekend, I had the house to myself, and uh, like nothing else going on. I didn't have any classes. I didn't have any I didn't have any work. Um, so I had the whole house to myself for an extended period of time. So what I did is I got this little plastic bowl. Not plastic bowl. I wanted it to be disposable, so I got a paper bowl. A little paper bowl, and this lighter they gave me. Um, and I smoked the whole thing. I quote unquote smoked the whole thing in like 30 minutes. And I was like, man, some weak shit. I don't feel nothing. I even had like the fan going and an open window and all that shit. Um, come to turn out, I don't know how to smoke. I just keep it in my mouth and I don't breathe it in. And boy, let me tell you, when my friend heard that, he was he wasn't mad. He was just like, how he was a little. They were flabbergasted a little bit, but they were also laughing at me because I can't smoke. So yeah, I don't smoke cigarettes. uh, that's enough of that. We gotta figure out where the fuck we were. Uh, oh wait, that's right. They're timestamped. Wow, really? Is that month, day, time? Nah, that can't be. Shoot, though. What's with an interesting question? I'm pretty sure it's high roller mode. And I hope the game doesn't mind that I take a second to look at my phone for another 5-10 minutes. Just to get me up to speed of what's going on. I know the gist of like what the case is. It's like a scientist who made the androids of the right now uh theoretically didn't kill himself, although everyone says he did. And his like best creation, this little android girl whose name currently escapes me, and it's kind of like our kid. She's kind of like our Maya, honestly. Uh, is hiring us to prove that he didn't kill himself. Oh gosh, Sarah, and she's calling us Adonai for some reason. Terms. Yeah, I got a little keychain. I forgot about this stuff. Should I make this Neo-ability? Oh, wait, no. This isn't helping. Where's profiles? That might help. Evidence? Evidence might help. You know what? Why don't we just go? Why don't we just go and when I encounter like a what am I fucking talking about, then I'll stop and take it back. Alright. Get comfortable. In prime visual novel position. Really? No, does it excite you? Going into courtrooms? What do you mean? You don't feel the tension in the air as the audience murmurs amongst themselves? I almost forgot how cute Sarah is. Don't you feel a fiery sense of justice rising in your gut when the prosecution smirks at your ragtag assembly of witnesses? Do you really think it's like gonna be some movie where the good guys save the day? Probably not. Though that would be nice if it were. What's your deal anyway? David training off a movie marathon from hell or something? We did watch films together, if that's what you're asking. Though he was really the one who suggested it. So you were the aggressor. What's an android to get out of watching a flick anyway? What do I get? Why do you do it? What's your reason? Oh, that's right. Morgan's having trouble processing that David, the scientist in question, who probably didn't kill himself. I need to look at the evidence again. Oh, God. I hope I'm not about to start a trial where I fucking need to know what's going on. Oh, God. And I'm on the hard difficulty. Whatever. She's having trouble processing that, like, he made, like, a person. An artificial person. I'm not sure how to answer your question. Never mind. Forget what I was talking to. That's rude. Was it so rude it turned off the music? I like the performances. Sure. There you go. Got a crush on Humphrey Bogart or something? He's a handsome man. But it's not like the actors I like so much as their performance. The truth is, besides father, I have very little experience when it comes to people. I hadn't noticed. I read the net, and I watch people and what they share of their lives. But it's also subtle, so hard to follow. There's so many unspoken rules that can't be taught, only learned, and I often struggle to grasp them. You're all so complex, so detailed. But the characters on screen are exaggerated, larger than life. The actors enunciate, their body language is precise, meaningful. Their faces are bright and softly lit, and their eyes are... It's fiction, so these characters and their stories, they have a beginning, middle, and end. And the people on screen don't ask anything of you except your attention. You can't disappoint them or make them feel awkward. could just watch and learn. But what about you, Adonai? What about me? Do you like movies? Yeah, sure. Back when I was a kid. Really? Who was your favorite director? What was your favorite film? That was a long time ago. I don't remember. Also, Morgan is a serial killer. And a defense attorney. And she has like memory problems going on? I don't remember. Oop, shit. July 1st, 2086. That's within my lifetime, by the way. If I live healthy enough, I could probably make it to that and nothing terrible happens. State Building. Floor 48. Things are quieter than I expected here at the courthouse. Though I've always felt courthouse is a bit of a misnomer. Government building is probably the best way to describe these towers. All-encompassing and impenetrably vague. 100 floors of officials and documents and paper-pushing queues, with a couple dozen courtrooms squeezed in along the way. I didn't think I'd be arguing in court when I woke up today. Didn't think my friend would be dead, or I'd have thrust an android into my lap either. I could just walk in there and concede. Emma would be irritated, more than a little confused, but I would play it off as an exercise in grief. The android would complain, loudly of course, but I wouldn't have to listen to it. Now that it's registered in my name, I could probably just order the damn thing to reset its memory. But I haven't done that. And I guess I don't plan to. Why? It's because I have my suspicions as well. Sarah insists that David would never actually commit suicide. And I haven't exactly stopped to ask myself whether or not I agree. David was rational, subdued, private, hard on himself, and not prone to emotional outbursts. So maybe that's why I'm finding myself outside a courtroom prepared to humor and add suspicions before the state. Because I don't really believe David killed himself either. What's your progress bar at? I can confirm that I am making progress. Well, shit, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But it would be difficult to summarize that progress in terms of a completion percentage. Why don't you give it your best shot anyway? 4%. Are you feeling confident in your case? Markedly less so after hearing that. Do you think the judge will be amenable to your argument? What are you talking about? Do you know the judge we've been assigned? Are they particularly lenient or strict? Adjuncts always flip a coin, so... Wait, what? Let me say that again. Adjuncts are always a flip of the coin, so... You do know what an adjunct is, don't you? Are you expecting to see a bearded old man with a Roman gavel when we get there? I was picturing something like the Ace Attorney judge. Should I not? Adjuncts are android judges, okay? With all the authority that entails. Noun, commercial name for automated dependent judicial models. Adjunctant. Adjuncts are automated dependents. Dependents, by the way, are the androids. I get so easily distracted by this thing. They preside over trial of the state. While most adjuncts are designed to be and sold as software and then loaded into courthouse-specific hardware, including android bodies, they can interpret trial proceedings and render judgment based entirely on stenographer records if need be, relying on cases in an entirely digital capacity. Reviews of adjuncts by third parties have shown that they are overwhelmingly more equitable and even-handed than they're sentient in their sentencing than human judges. Because they cannot be bribed or intimidated, adjuncts are especially preferred for cases involving organized crime or corporate misconduct. That's cool. Adjuncts using 9-fold personality engram for rendering their judgments and building consensus. Known as the notary systems among software engineers. Cute. I should play those sometime. I started playing them like forever ago and I just didn't. I think I got a... Oh, shit. I think I got scared by like the multiple ending thing, which is weird because I have a 100-line playthrough on this channel, but I'm probably not gonna continue. Not directly, anyway. Da, 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 da. As each of these 9 personas are constructed by a different think tank or institution from across the political spectrum, ideological contamination in adjunct units is practically impossible. Interesting. There have been a small number of reported cases where non-reprocessing has borne particularly enthusiastic or eccentric personas, presumably in an orthodox, if not effective, attempt to reconcile particularly disparate opinions across the 9 constituent personalities with a single authoritative, loud voice. With the state court backlog essentially cleared for the past half-decade, questions arose as to the continued need for adjuncts to unlock the judicial system's human resource burden, but Senate Investigative Committee 74JD91 determined that removing adjuncts from the legal system would be prohibitively expensive at this point. Fascinating. I am surprised to hear that people are willing to accept rulings made by automated defendants. Rulings come from landmark cases in the higher courts. Those are passed down by actual judges, real people with decades of study and experience. But not every eviction case or traffic ticket that ends up in court requires years of legal expertise. Sometimes all you need is a referee and a sentencing algorithm. So, androids are used to reduce caseload? Been that way for decades. But how was a law that replaced judges ever enforced? Wouldn't there be injunctions stalling? I like that she's like searching it up on her brain. Judges did fight it for years, at every level, and in every theater. But the public lost their patience for that kind of obstruction during the 60s. The state needed to shred budgets across the board. And so, judges that couldn't be replaced by years of legal battles were instead ushered into early retirement by the unrelenting force of our great nation's accountants. And it's not controversial? Having machines determine sentencing for human beings? Whatever controversy there is, it gets aimed at the machines, not the people who put them there. And the machines can't lose sleep over it. Besides, it used to be that even the most high profile of crimes wouldn't get a court date until weeks or months later. Nowadays, most crimes are prosecuted within a single business week. And that's not rushing things? Keeps people in my line of work on their toes, that's for sure. I'm just surprised to hear that there's so much haste. Don't they teach you about classical conditioning in android school? You gotta feed the dog immediately after you ring the bell. Punishment doesn't follow the crime in quick succession unless it doesn't stick. I see. But if adjuncts are so effective, why aren't they used in every trial? Why aren't they used in politics? That's a logical question to ask. And the answer is... that logic only gets you so far when it comes to people. Doesn't everyone want their courts to be as just as possible? If adjuncts are truly impartial and incorruptible... Everyone wants justice, sure. But there are other considerations to be had. I'm going to turn down the music just a little bit. Such as... disgust. What? That's all people really care about. What all their morals boil down to. Is what they do or don't find disgusting. Only problem is, everything's more palatable when viewed through a screen. So when everyone sees the world through AR and cameras, and no one ever gets dirt under their fingernails, you'd be surprised what you can get away with. I don't understand. Yeah, well, therein lies the problem. Are we gonna look at the case now? Should I be looking at the evidence? Oh god. Don't tire me now! Don't tire me now! You can do it, game! Can you do it? I feel like you crashed before. Oh, what? Oh, here you go. Okay, we're back. I want to look at the evidence again, but I don't think I should right now. Not just yet, although I should probably save as soon as possible. I want to get as close to the action point as possible. And it's a whoop. 6:24 p.m., July 1st, 2086. Courtroom 48B. Hey, Emma. That's our Edgeworth. Just gonna... Yeah. Thank you. There's also that steak stuff? Hold on. Oh, hey. Those articles, evidence, terms, cause... It's Morgan time. If I click this, can I... Fran. I forgot a fidget tubby charm. Fidget tubby charm. Oh, wow, I have 2 credit. Oh. I just wanted to look at it. Oh, I wanted to save for the rose gold one. Damn it. Let's go, Sarah. Sato stuck. Emma, Demon Thought. Cute. Swindon head empty. Reyes, Engie. 80. Diamani. Yo, Reyes undercover. Funny outfit. Oh, that's gonna be so worth it. Try to pet the cat in episode 2. In Necomorg? Hey! I'm having too much fun. With not the game. Actually, hold on. Let me see. Oh, we got... Yeah, we got a fair bit of evidence. Let's just be really cautious with our saving. Because high roller mode is punishing, apparently. Just a preliminary hearing, huh? You wouldn't know it from the look on her face. But I shouldn't have expected any leeway once we stepped into the courtroom. Not with her. That's the adjuncted up there? Is it asleep? Wow. Is there any reason they made the adjutant a pretty lady with huge chest? It's loading. It needs to load? Don't be rude. Not every ad can afford to be decked out as extravagantly as you. Especially not those the state buys in bulk. There's an audience. Oh, you mean the gallery? It's nothing. Could have been a lot worse. Word of any trial in the case of David Aschur's death must have spread like wildfire. Even a mock trial like this one. Detectives like Reyes are London would get chewed out for leaking things to the press. But uniformed officers have little to lose and a lot to gain by dropping a text to their attentive friends in the media. And then there's the corporate plants. Interns usually, preferably ones with modded eyes. It's illegal to film inside a courtroom, but this is the year 2086. Things are gonna go one way or the other. I don't like having my face on camera. I am, in fact, a serial killer. I don't like attention in general. I am, in fact, a serial killer. But I'm not such a coward that I'd skip David's funeral just because there'd be paparazzi outside of it. My pretty little likeness is going to end up in the background of some tabloid photograph one way or another by the end of this circus. At least this way it's decent marketing for my legal services. What'll happen once the adjuncted finishes loading? How will the trial proceed? With all those films you'd watch, I'd figure that you could extrapolate. Discovery means it's 6:30 p.m. Just that I can't pull stuff out of my pockets and present it with any kind of context. You know, like a Firebird or something. I have to have proof that I acquired it legally during the course of my investigation. You know, unlike a Firebird or something. Most of the time it means having recordings or witnesses that can verify my investigation. Which I can provide. You didn't think I was letting you tag along because I liked you, did you? And the jury? I don't see where they would sit. Jury hasn't sat in actual anonymity. And that's not an issue? Don't people want to look someone in the eye before passing judgment on them? No. It's easier that way. Oh god, stream's dropping. And right now, all the evidence suggests that David killed himself. It's going to be an uphill battle. I can't afford to stumble. It's going to be an uphill battle. I can't afford to stumble. I need to focus on establishing an alternate interpretation of the facts, and it needs to be solid. But I don't have a suspect or a motive for killing David. Yet. Anyway, I'll need to be sharp. Yeah, that's right. The other ones. Emma doesn't play nice enough for me to be anything less. I think it's waking up. This third lower court is now in session. Adjutant AD 84 presiding. I call to order the case of the people v. Aschur. Do the people wish to make an opening statement? No, Your Honor. Shit, it was my Junako voice. I don't remember what that was. Ah, fuck. No, I think I got that right. No point in bothering when it's the adjunct in here. Very well. Do the defense wish to make an opening statement? Not at this time, Your Honor. Might as well ring the bell and get the shit show start. If neither the people nor the defense wish to make an opening statement... Hello? Then it falls to me to set the stage. Okay. My model name is Adjutant. My unit designation code is AD-84. I am a machine, an automated dependent, and I serve the state by presiding over trials. You might find yourself wondering, why? What gives a machine the right to judge a human? A fair question. The answer is simple. In every culture, in every society, no matter how it is worshipped, enshrined, or deified, justice has one defining quality. Justice is beautiful. Like a balanced equation, like the golden ratio, like the Vitruvian Man, justice is beautiful. So what gives me the right? This gorgeous bod. You know, when they said adjuncts will have quirky personality sometimes, I was kind of hoping it would be something like this. Seems like a good place, honey. Just gonna, real quick. Yep. Just get as close as I can. Anyway. I thought it was good 80, 86, 84. Whatever, forget it. Forget I said anything. I was trying to lighten the mood, but I can see everyone hates me. 80. Oh. Do the trial without me. They're guilty of whatever. Your Honor. I need to see 80s thing. Yeah! Date of birth, September 2nd. Weight, height, no blood type. Wait, what? Oh, I got that next up. A solid under 300 kilograms. Automated dependent adjutant. Raw salmon, running water and gymnastics. Criminals, contrarians, pigeons. Libra, self-assigned. Haha. Open, obedient, observant. Oh, people. 3 sizes. You'd want to know. Did anybody else give it 3 sizes? I know the bottom one tends to be like a free. Yeah. You go, they. Nah, he was. It's a he. I think they've been dressing up as him. Gauze. Struggle with salt. I don't even remember you. What? Oh, that's right. Fran. Yeah, I remember you. Hacker would put that down, obviously. Francois Snow. Young. Interesting. Hello. Ah, that's right. Depends on the time of day. That's who trained her. Morgan. Funny. Do we have the other Morgan? I feel like we did. Whatever. One last time. Well, I think it's already the same thing. Your Honor, Wait, what the flip? The defendant's already dead. Why are we doing this? Is this a debug thing? Because I'll log the error if I need to. Fuck, I forgot. No, Your Honor, this is a preliminary hearing to determine whether David Aschur did in fact commit suicide as he... I get it. You want to make sure he wasn't cuckoo in the brain cranium before you cut up his well like a T-bone. I didn't realize that adjuncts were so lively. They are. They're supposed to be austere and statuesque. Looks like we got served the most in need of repairs adjutant the court system could find. Whatever paper pusher we rushed to get this trial going must have wanted a little payback for the kindness. What's that look for? Could it be that you're trying to size me up? Is she gonna just give it out? Wouldn't dream of it, Your Honor. Good, because you have doubts about my ability to run this trial. I could always just enact summary judgment here and now. I'm sure you'd find my ruling to be fair and even-handed. That won't be necessary, Your Honor. He's much more of a character than I'm used to seeing up there. I mean, counting all the flesh and blood judges I've met. She's still an adjutant. She'll follow the evidence where it leads. As long as I make a few adjustments for the occasional outburst from the bench, my plan is still workable. So, people, shall we get started with that first witness? And if we're gonna do that, I'm gonna just... Close as possible. Right away, Your Honor. The people call Dr. Yumi Sato to the stand. Because if I remember right, High Roller Mode doesn't let you save. Oh, that's right, the coroner. Hey, not Abby. It's Yumi. Just, shit, wrong one. Sato. There's never any wait. Medical examiner, social media, dress codes, ebooks. Loves to make new playlists. Yeah. To throw out old clothes, obviously. If there's anything wrong with that. My weekly meal prep. Good on you. Hard to do meal prep. I've started to do it, and I have friends doing it now, and they're learning. Hey. So how about it, pretty lady? You swear to tell the whole truth, unadulterated truth, to the best of your ability? I do? Shit, I don't know how to do her voice. Whatever. Good enough for me. Dr. Sato, you were in charge of the autopsy for David Aschur, were you not? I was. And when did you make your examination? I started last night. Well, technically 1 a.m. would be very early this morning. I think you can still say last night if we're talking about 1 in the morning. Objection. The defense will have their opportunity to cross-examine. Until then, they should refrain from making errant remarks. The hell? All I said was... Yeah, what she said. You mean sustained? Don't get cute with me, counselor. Come on. Being cute is my job. Damn, we barely started. I'm blind. That seems pretty bad, Adonai. Oh, shit. Blind is how much credit you'll lose for answering incorrectly when you yourself aren't controlling the ante. Oh, shit. That's how much damage I get cashed out. Blind increments on its own throughout the trial as stakes get higher, but resets at the end of each day. Blind starts at and That's a weird time for it to cut. Interesting. I wonder if that's going to come in handy. Blind starts at and caps out at a higher number if you're playing on high roller. Mind the blind number in the top left when it appears. It's currently a -1. Ugh. Oh. It helps when you gauge what you stand to lose. Oh, it helps you gauge what you stand to lose. Okay. Please try to avoid being penalized in the future. It was a story one. Oh. Thanks for the tip. Shake it off. Get my chance to raise objections of my own soon enough. Dr. Sato, were you able to determine the cause of death? He passed away due to respiratory failure. Could you explain what that means to the court? Essentially, he wasn't enough getting oxygen to his blood. It seems to be at the time he arrived at the hospital he was no longer breathing. What does respiratory failure look like? What are the symptoms? There would be lightheadedness, dizziness, fainting, pale skin, and a bluish tint around the extremities. And the condition he was in matched those symptoms? Correct. In your experience, what are the most common causes of respiratory failure? Hold on, I'm remembering his autopsy. Evidence. Loud curling handwriting. What the hell is this talk screen? Send attending physicians back to med school. Send apologies to attending physicians. These readings are a nightmare. Interesting. That's right. They said something about just think this line of toxicity. Too much of the whiskey was drunk and or evaporated. Unidentified substance was found in the bloodstream of David Aschur after his death. There's many similarities to the chemical makeup of a depressant. No additional traces found anywhere in the crime scene or in David's penthouse. David Aschur, 70 feet of illicit substances on his body. Alcohol was the only thing. That's right, but the speed of the designer drugs keeps being faster. So they have there's some leeway there. And statements that things operated by security footage. I spoke with David Aschur. Drinking plastic cups David Aschur brought with him. David Aschur felt lethargic and distorted. Aschur lost consciousness 3 minutes later. Enemy 4. Aschur and the witnesses were taken to the Green Memorial Hospital at 8:08. And according to his autopsy, he died at 8:25. In your experiences, what are the most common causes of respiratory failure? They can be caused by injury or disease, but the subject to no wounds or reported illnesses and otherwise appear to be perfectly healthy. And what else could cause respiratory failure then? It is also commonly seen in fatal drug overdoses. Drug overdoses. Did you perform a tox screen on Dr. Aschur? Yes, but his tox screen came back clean. Whatever killed him wasn't something we've encountered before. That was true. The autopsy. There's an unknown substance detected in his bloodstream. It's not like it was perfectly clean. Wait, a clean tox screen? Clean? Is she gonna Jeff me again? Ooh. Dialogue will proceed automatically during testimony, but you can still choose to advance text manually with continue. You'll need to read carefully and wait for the witness to make a statement that sounds wrong. Then you can hit the call button to call their bluff. Hover over the call button or toggle with Insight to focus on the claims of the witness statement. Insight can be disabled in settings. Testimony will loop until you call. Thank God. Can't lose a chance to the pie. I need to catch her mistake the second it comes out of her mouth. Wait, what? This is what I'm betting with? Hold on. Shit. The pathway to the respiratory failure. Essentially, he wasn't getting enough oxygen to his blood. Experienced lightheadedness, dizziness, then fainting. I'm going to call on there. The subject was healthy. The respiratory failure must have been attributed to a drug overdose. Tox screen was out of the hospital and came back clean. After choosing to call in a statement, you need to respond with evidence. Look over the 3 cards that show up and confirm your card before the timer runs out. Wait, it's a negative for poison. Wait, hold on. All the David Aschur should be clean as we all know it. since he was on camera drinking alcohol the night that he died. Oh, thank God. That makes sense. And that scared you? No, that's wrong. Successfully objected testimony the first time. The witness merely misspoke, Your Honor, and it plainly states the tox report itself Dr. Aschur did have alcohol in his blood, but not at such a concentration as to be lethal. Yeah, my bad. I said the tox screen was clean. I just meant it didn't tell the attending physicians anything they didn't already know. Overall, a little more nitpicky than I like to be, but at least I was able to balance the momentum, more or less. Yeah, I got it. I got it. I don't like that there's a timer. And when I say I don't like it, I do actually really like it. Writing containing the full text of Dasher's employment contract with Noble Electronics, details of compensation grounds for dismissal of the constituted reach. Okay. What's this? Oh, that's right. It's the blood, isn't it? Manufacturing machine and their processes for getting fluids and used in production of warm androids. Ones that like look and feel like people. As byproducts appeared in the pigments from android blood, thereby changing its color from red to pink. David's cup. Analysis shows the matches the fingerprints and saliva toxicology tests were proven inconclusive. Too much of the whiskey drug evaporated. Well, now I have to read it. Says the Noble Electronics included famous services. Caduceus only offers 3 levels of employee, provides plans that outrank it. Plastic cup with a small amount of whiskey. Found it right. There's no trace of foreign elements. So this is Young's cup. No traces of foreign elements. Oh, it does say Young's cup. Asher Helen Noble stared at the note. Same time of position, they would often toast their hard-won victories with the cheap liquor in plastic cups. Commemoration of the first big win. Seeing Noble Electronics to adopt what became known as the one-point doctrine, emphasizing quality over quantity. Machine cable is essentially organic cable that even after just 2 minutes of vacuum sealed mixing, Noble's and just like I could have used throughout the production facilities, my androids, manufacturer of the poison I read earlier, salt shaker. The camp was loose, so salt spilled over the countertop next to the sink. Spilled salt is an omen of bad luck. Having too much once will make you gag, according to Sarah. Interesting. It was one of a kind of other commodities. Tells to an extremely large sum. Sarah's papers declaring that Evangeline Morgan is to be given absolute ownership of the android Sarah, effective immediately. Signed and dated by David Aschur 2 weeks ago. Tax-free transaction, unfortunately. The talk screen, the water glass. That means Young also had water too. Interesting. Rose River Whiskey, forensic analysis of foreign elements, known to be a brand favorite by the deceased. The whiskey smell. For most of the night, there's not a single little test. No foreign compounds have been found. There's also two inclusive. And then the witness testimony, which I read earlier. Is that really all I had? Did I save? Shall we continue, Dr. Chateau? If tox screens were negative for pharmaceuticals, I'm changing it up. If tox screens were negative for pharmaceuticals and drugs, what caused Dr. Asher's respiratory failure? During my autopsy, I analyzed his blood and was able to isolate a foreign compound. So there was lethal dose of drugs inside his body. It just happened to be a drug that the hospital had never encountered before. That is correct. I think we're all getting pretty tired pretty fast if we don't at least pick a placeholder name for the substance, Your Honor. People don't object, Your Honor. In that case, I'll put my creative heuristics to work combining up with an original scientific fitting name for the substance, a name like Omega. Omega-3! That name is already taken. Fine, call it Delta, whatever. Delta used in the scene to denote an unknown variable. Not bad. Delta has other meanings when it comes to drugs, but yeah, our delta matches no known public pharmacology or toxicology records. That being said, chemically it does have all the hallmarks of a general depressant. I know the feeling. So it stands to reason it would exhibit a similar effect on the body when ingested. Court case 2412778. You say ingested. Why? I limited all other possibilities during my examination of the body. He must have swallowed it, and judging from his stomach contents, he must have been a liquid. Thank you, Dr. Sato. Shall I summarize things for the court? Yes, please. I wasn't listening that closely. Oh, 80. The victim died of respiratory failure. His toxicity showed that his blood was clear of anything that could cause respiratory failure. Except for an unknown substance, a poison we've labeled Delta. Well, that sounds like a textbook suicide. Should we wrap it up here? Not quite yet, Your Honor. As close as possible. This may clearly be a poisoning, but it's at least one detail about this case that doesn't feel like a suicide at all. She says it's classic suicide. Respiratory failure, the known substance in the blood. It's not helping. The whiskey tested negative for poison. Drinking before he died and seemed added. He didn't see him add anything corroborated by cam footage. It would be this one, right? The people shouldn't get ahead of themselves. There's nothing textbook about a supposed suicide that had a witness sitting there watching it happen. As you say? Well, now I'm lost. Was it poisoning or suicide or not? If that's the case, then perhaps we should give the defense the opportunity to cross-examine, unless they're going to insist on testifying themselves. How kind of you to offer. Ball's in my court now. How do I counter? Emma's argument basically goes as follows. Close as possible. David ingested the Delta knowingly, and the Delta causes respiratory failure. He died of respiratory failure, thus David committed suicide. Ooh, shit. During blackjack, every piece of information you learn deals you a card. Choose only the questions that are logical and relevant, and only press if you think a line of questioning is worth continuing, or else you'll go bust and lose credit. Select the press option to see what the follow-up question would be. You can only win blackjack when you reach exactly 21. So don't press further if you're already there. Don't ask the wrong questions. For cross-examination, they need to put a microscope for the weakest part of the argument. Hope some cracks will appear under the pressure. Oh, there's a quick save button. All right. If they found no other way for it to have been in there. Sure it was respiratory. 6, 12, 18, 24. So as long as we keep getting 6s. Can I get that autoplay? During blackjack, choosing only the questions that are logical and relevant, and only press if you think line of questions are continuing, or else you go bust and lose credit. Select the press option to see what the follow-up question would be. Dr. Sato, you were only able to identify the presence of this delta after hours of work. Can you really be sure that this never-before-seen chemical can cause respiratory failure? Well, I've had time to run simulations, and they do give every indication that it would act as a depressant. And just enough that depressant respiratory failure would occur. 3. Okay. Only simulations? It's a 3. We're safely under. We have some wiggle room here. You ran simulations. So you haven't tested Delta on any actual people? No, I haven't. That'd be very difficult to do given our extremely limited sample. Not to mention highly unethical. Of course. But without such a test, you don't actually know for sure that Delta could cause any of the symptoms you've described. Is there a question in that statement, Counselor? You don't actually know for sure, do you? No. Not yet, anyway. These two questions are difficult. I guess since we don't have to commit to anything by saying this, isn't it possible that he only died from something other than respiratory failure? Well, no, not really. Bust. Queen! Fuck. You could already speculate what caused the respiratory failure, but it is, in fact, the fact that he died because the heart and lungs stopped working. Right. Thank you for that. Dr. Sato, you said that the subject had to have ingested the Delta orally. But how can we actually be sure about that? I'm pretty sure. I mean, I can go into detail about the cavities that I checked, but... Was it knowingly ingested? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I should have done that one first. Damn it. But how can we be sure that the subject ingested the Delta knowingly? Well, we can't be sure of that. Certainly not just from an autopsy. You said it must have been a liquid, yeah? Could it have been a large amount? Hey, 21. Depends on the concentration of the delivery solution. It could have been just a drop. The kind of thing that could easily go unnoticed, yeah? Calls for speculation, Your Honor. Withdraw. Oh man, I want to jump on a case. Seems like that's... Blackjack. So stylish. I love it. Ooh. The world. It's 21 in blackjack. That is technically the world's number. Thank you for your time, Dr. Sato. We all appreciate it. But it does seem like we're still in the dark about many details regarding Dr. Aschur's death. Wouldn't you say? Well, poisoning via the compound we're calling Delta is still the most likely explanation. So there are other explanations for what happened? Defense is calling for speculation, Your Honor. It's not speculation when the medical examiner is attempting to explain the cause of death, Your Honor. The witness will answer the question. Well, respiratory failure can be caused by illnesses. If he had undiagnosed pneumonia or some other disease and his respiratory system was weakened. Undiagnosed pneumonia, which is level of healthcare? It is technically possible. I'll take it. I have no more questions for this witness. Ugh, I felt weak, but I can't be picky when I'm stalling for time. Seeding doubt wherever I can, however I can. It's just about all I can manage. Alright, we lost a little bit there, but that's fine. Detective Reyes, you were one of the leads investigating this crime scene. We're still over where we were when we came in. Yes, ma'am? And did you interview the EMCs who first arrived on the scene? I did. They responded to the emergency signal from the home security console located in the kitchen. What did they find when they arrived on the scene? The victim was unconscious on the floor in his parlor. He was receiving CPR from a witness, the individual who had called them. They were both airlifted to the Gainesville Memorial Hospital, and Dr. Aschur was declared dead shortly after arriving there. She's actually handling herself pretty well up on the stand. I have expected her to roll her eyes during the swearing in. But when taking into consideration her love for boot heel authority, she would be right at home here in the courtroom, the very seat of the state's power over the people. The witness met with the deceased about that half an hour before he fell ill from 7:30 to 8 p.m. The two of them talked for some time and shared a drink. Shortly after, Dr. Aschur became distracted, lightheaded, and eventually fell non-responsive. And during the same time period, drinking the same liquor, the witness exhibited no symptoms themselves? None. Through a collaborative effort with Noble Electronics Security Division, we searched the entire building, but we found nothing unusual in any of the food or drink on the premises, including the bottle the witness and the deceased drank from. So what was your ultimate conclusion after investigating the scene? The whiskey bottle was clean, the witness's drink was clean. The only person who got sick was Dr. Aschur, drinking from a cup that he had prepared. So it was our determination that David Aschur committed suicide by poisoning himself. She's pretty tight-lipped up there, but I think she slipped up at least once. Police want to claim that they've eliminated every other possibility and covered every angle. But I know that there are a number of blind spots that we're not willing to admit to. You mean the witness? The upright cup. David's cup. I think it's the upright cup. And the mysterious poison. Oh, I can look at this still. I think Young's cup is the upright cup. That has her saliva and fingerprints. Mysterious poison. And David's cup. Which just proved inconclusive stuff because it was whiskey and too much of it was dried up. I think this is going to be our key. $7:30. That's not what we need. Prepare the drinks. He's the one who prepared the drinks. There was no opportunity for the witness to ever slip him. No opportunity for the witness. Okay. He drank from a cup that he himself poisoned. Pretty cut and dry, if you ask me. Just to be sure, we scanned the kitchen, the lab, the basement. There was no poison anywhere else. Just his cup, right? Slipped it there, made a claim she can't actually support. All I need to do is point it out. I'm not going to watch her self-destruct, which should be fun. She made a claim she can't support. Shit, I can't look at my evidence again. Was it that one? Shit, I don't know. No, we got him on camera with that. There's no opportunity for the witness. Was it that one? Champion got that he himself poisoned. Oh. Is it that? Not poison, half empty or full. This? Yeah. Yeah, I failed one. You almost made a salient point. Do I get points for that? I hope not. Otherwise, I want to get to do this. Overruled. No. No. Okay, let me think. I need to make objections more carefully than that. Pertinent evidence. It's David's cup. Was found drinking matches filled with saliva. Toxicology proves inconclusive. His fingerprints and saliva. Toxicology was too much over the whiskey was drinking. Drunk and evaporated. Young's cup. That's Young's story. So fingerprints contains no traces of foreign elements and the mystery poison. Delta, I guess. The upright cup, Young's cup, David's cup, and poison. Shit. So that's gonna be substantiated. 7 blind. He's the one who prepared their drinks. There's no opportunity for the witness to ever slip him something. drank from a cup that he himself poisoned. Oh, is it that he himself poisoned? That can't be substantiated? Well, I have to wait for it to come back. No poison anywhere else, which is true. Witnessed ever something. He drank from a cup that he himself poisoned. We'll call that. It's testing inconclusive. Yeah. You can't make that claim. Now, when the evidence record clearly shows that tests of Dr. Aschur's cup were inconclusive. The police can't claim he drank from a poisoned cup without first proving that the cup was, in fact, poisoned. You're talking a lot of sense, lady. Does it resolve, or do you have a response, D.A. Rockford? Testing on the deceased cup has been inconclusive so far, Your Honor. I don't dispute that. Though I'd be surprised if the defense has any idea how else the poison could have been delivered in Dr. Aschur alone. Not at this time, but that's the funny thing about the burden of proof. It's not on the defense, as we're all aware. Right, we all know that. I definitely knew that, yeah. Now, if the people are done bemoaning that pesky innocent until proven guilty issue, perhaps I could begin my cross-examination. Fire away, baby! That's a... Oh, I know that's a reference to something. This particular pose. What is it? It's itching the corners of my brain. Fire away? Baby. Ray's testimony is meant to show that David is the only one who could have poisoned himself. She'll be on guard and heart set against helping me, but if we keep her focused on eliminating other possibilities, I can get her to make my point for me before she even realizes what happened. Interesting. Okay. Like it said, we don't need to land on anything. We don't need to commit to any of these. Poison off camera. Ever seen poisoning? Was he ever seen poisoning himself? Why don't we start top down and see which one's the most likely? The only people you saw on the cameras that night were Dr. Aschur and the witness, correct? Yeah, there was no footage of the house of anyone else. Are there any parts of the house that aren't recorded by camera? Sure. There are a number of rooms, the home's interior, that don't have cameras in them. So it's possible that there were other people there that night because the cameras weren't watching every room. No, that's not possible. The only way up the penthouse is through the building's elevator or the fire escape stairs, both of which are on camera. And that still wouldn't get you past this front door, which is also on camera. No one besides the two of them was there that day. What about before that day? No, I think we can let that lie. Was he ever seen poisoning himself? Detective, we've been doing a lot of assuming and reasoning in quick succession, so I'll ask this plainly to the court. Was there any photographic evidence showing David Aschur adding anything to his drink that night? No. Seems he had already poured for both of them by the time he had returned to the parlor. He had already poured. In that case, the next question needed to be when and what. And poison in the kitchen. Could even poison off camera, anyone else in the building. I don't know why this is giving like special cool guy points, because we know there wasn't, but I'll press it. Detective Reyes, during the course of your investigation, did you find any samples of Delta in the kitchen or parlor? No. That was a fast answer. Well, that is a pretty easy question. If we had found poison at the scene of the crime, it'd be pretty important, don't you think? What about his lab? His bedroom? His basement? No, no, and no. We didn't find Delta or any other unusual substance in any part of his penthouse. Right, they never found any poison. No poison at all. What about a poison container? It's usually what they look for. We'll stay. Could he have been poisoned off camera? Detective, isn't it possible that Dr. David Aschur was poisoned off camera? Possible. I don't know how else it would have been done. But that just goes to show that it had to have been suicide. The only time he was off camera was... Oh, come on. Sorry, I wanted to leave the conversation. Yeah, it seems that way. Shit. Is this really where it wants me to go? Control. There we go. I guess this is where we're going. At any point in the investigation, was poison found on the body of the deceased? No. He must have been searched. Did he have any capsules or vials? Eyedroppers, maybe? Didn't even have his wallet on him. Why? Thank you for enlightening the court about this point, Detective. What point? Well, I think it's strange, don't you, Detective? I mean, how could he have possibly poisoned himself without first procuring some poison? And that's blackjack. What do you mean procure? Where did it come from, Detective? The poison that you're so sure was dissolved in his drink? Can't have come from thin air, understand? Seems to have been... had to have been in a container at some point. Whatever it was before, it probably evaporated. All of it? It only took a small droplet to kill. Your Honor, are you going to ask him to keep a shovel? In a minute, sure. There wasn't any pill bottle in his bathroom or syringe in his pocket containing this apparently deadly substance. So how did he get it? What did he keep it in? The police want to claim that Dr. Aschur committed suicide because they've established that his guest never had the opportunity to kill him. But they failed to prove that the victim had the means to kill himself. Then I guess I'll be the one to move things along. That didn't come out of thin air, Counselor. It didn't come from a syringe either. Dr. Aschur was able to drip the poison right onto his cup. Straight from the source. That's too specific to be a bluff. I'm still at just 5 or 50, right? More than what I started with. And let me submit the evidence into Exhibit G. A piece of machinery found by Dr. Aschur's laboratory. I like that that's just close enough to be English. Actually, hold on. I think it's junk text that's been mirrored for some reason. Sold under the product name Manufacturer. Oh, I know this one. It's used in delicate scientific work to pursue nanomachines, chemical compounds, and polymers. That is the same machine when I saw Dawes gave me a tour of the production floor. Very good, Your Honor. It's a valuable tool in any scientific laboratory. Dr. Aschur is well acquainted with its use. Hold on, I just had... That's 80, right? She is. Yeah, handle the pair. Fun. As a matter of fact, you had a number of presets coded into it. Maybe the android can see where this is going. With just a few taps, you can produce any number of specific substances for its research, or any other chemical his heart desired feeling. You think Randoc Mechanics would allow their product to be used to produce illicit chemicals? Using the manufacturer to make illicit, unlicensed drugs does go against their terms and conditions. So Dr. Aschur's warranty is certainly null and void. But they can't hard-code their machines to prevent the production of a drug that hasn't been invented yet. That's... Dr. Aschur died with I decided to go back on the voice. Dr. Aschur died when his respiratory system failed because of a depressant overdose. For him, it would have been peaceful, like falling asleep. You see, he didn't need to commission a synthetic drug from some street vendor or order an exotic poison from overseas. He could produce Delta at any time in the comfort of his own home. A quick and painless death, readily available in under a minute, at the touch of a button. Specifically, He said number 19. Damn it. Thought I actually had something for a moment there. I was playing it at Emma's hand the entire time. Shit. Updated evidence? You're not allowed to do that. Seems like we're done with this witness, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am. But before we move on, perhaps we should take a moment to put together the timeline of events as we know them. Not for me, of course, just in case anyone else might need it. Simple enough. Ooh, shit. Kill, heal, break, build, weep, laugh, mourn, dance, toss, gather, embrace, refrain, seek, lose, keep, cast, tear, sow, silence, sneak. Wow. Hate, war, peace. Interesting. We know that Dr. Aschur left the parlor and went down to the basement at 7:36 p.m. That's where he got the whiskey. And the cups they drank from. Plant, pluck, heal, kill, break, build, leap, laugh, mourn, dance, toss, and loops. The camera showed him returning to the parlor to drink from the witness at 7:40 p.m. And of course, we knew that he fell ill and passed away shortly after. Any objections so far, counselor? She has the timeline correct so far. She made a mistake with the timeline. I can look at the backlog, right? We know that Dr. David Aschur left the parlor and went down to the basement at 7:36 p.m., where he got the whiskey in the cups. The camera show him returning to the parlor to drink at 7:40. Of course, you know he fell shortly after that. Oh, interesting. You should give it a thought too. I mean, it took him a while for him to die. He lost consciousness at 8:03, which is longer than she said, I think. He felt ill shortly. 8:03. That would be 20 minutes. She made a mistake with the timeline. Let's keep that in our back pocket for right now. Young's cup, Young's story. Poison salt shaker, Sarah Valentine, Sarah's papers. Valuation, sorry. Clean water glass whiskey you. No, witness testimony. Young arrived at 7:30 and remained on camera until 8. Spoke with David. Before he left to retrieve liquor from his basement at 7:30. Upon returning at 7:40, that one is true. I'll invite you shortly after it. Check the witness then. The basement at 7:36 p.m. Returning to the parlor to get the thing. 7. I need to write this down or some shit. I keep looking at the same shit and forgetting it instantly. Where's a good blank piece of paper here? I have a million of them and I can't find one. What, really? Okay, here. Let's go back to this. Oh, interesting. Where's my pen? So Young got there at 7:30. Young, he got the liquor at 7:36. That's a little bit better. And then at 7:40, we were speaking. At 8 o'clock, he fell over. At 8:04, he was lifted to the hospital. Sorry, EMS was in there. At 8:08, he was at the hospital, and he died at 8:25. Ah, come on. Ink all over my fucking hand. So let's look at this again. Camera showing return. Left the parlor and went down to the basement. It's 7:36, which is true. Returned to the parlor. His dream passed away shortly thereafter. She has the timeline correct so far. She made a mistake with the timeline. God. Can I save? No, but I can't load it in the middle of the stuff, can I? Right? Towards the session. Return to title load a previous save. That's right. Piss! That's it. I can save as much as I want in court, but I can't. If I do, I have to do it the long way. So it all depends on whether I stay or raise depends on how we define shortly thereafter. Because he passed away at age 25. That's at least 40 minutes. But he fell ill at 8 o'clock, which is still 20 minutes after. Which in my book is a lot of time, especially for what we're talking about. Fuck. Shoot, man. Man. I want to take this. Fuck. And she does technically have the timeline correct. Fuck it. Nah. If I want to redo the whole thing, I'll redo it from there. We'll stay. Not at this time, no. The timeline you've described is accurate, as we know it. As you say. With this latest piece of evidence, we know that Aschur could have easily dispensed the poison directly into his cup by placing it inside the manufacturer, activating the preset, and simply waiting 2 minutes. Easily accomplished during the 4 minutes he spent off cameras from 7:36 to 7:40. Wouldn't you say? Ooh, a complete timeline of events. Yeah, that means he had that only opportunity. Seems like we're about ready to wrap up here. No. Where are we on that loading bar here, Sarah? I don't know, I had a feeling you'd say that. Well, counselor, are we done here? No, we are missing something. Feels like we're missing at least one biggie here, folks. Namely, motive. Yeah, right, I knew that. I wasn't getting excited to finish early or anything. This is a preliminary hearing, counselor. Our focus should be on the evidence, so it just feels like an awful waste of the taxpayer dollars to put us all down here for a debate and not get the truth of the matter, no? So, I was hoping we wouldn't have to go through this next part. What are you talking about? Your Honor, if it pleases the court. Your Honor, if it pleases the court. Ooh, new evidence? Gimme. This is a recording of a phone conversation dated at 6:30 p.m. last night between the deceased and a man he was in a relationship with. A man named Isaac Porter. Oh, fuck, I remember this guy. Just in case. I remember where they had a bad break. Yeah, I remember you. Hell of a design. Musician, bassist, like centenaries, grilling and champagne, gift giving. Save quote, I don't do requests. Did we talk to him? I mean, I've been up and down this evidence all day. Didn't say anything about Porter. Articles wouldn't have said anything, right? Budman's residence, Sullivan's Peak. Oh, yeah, that's right. Profiles, articles, evidence, load games, game, customize terms, settings. Whatever. Porter and David's breakup call. If anyone wants to present it here and now, the content must be of relevance, Your Honor. Yeah, that. What bearing does the recording have in the case at hand? It establishes the emotional state the deceased was on the day he died. Cool. You can play back. Hello. Oh, I so soft spoken. Isaac, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. What's wrong? Don't know. Guess I wasn't expecting you to pick up. Why not? Did you mean to call me? Yeah, I did. You gonna ask me how I've been? Yeah, how have you been? Bryce, David. What's the matter? Whatever it is, whatever I did, I'm sorry. Whatever you did. Sorry, man. I'm sure you are sorry. I just don't want any more apologies from you. I'm sorry. Okay. And I don't think I want anything from you anymore, David. What do you mean? I shouldn't have done this. This was unnecessary. My bad, man. For not taking the hints. With you, it's always better left unsaid, right? More efficient that way. So you can keep working. Isaac, if I've been distant with you, or... Nah, you haven't been distant with me. Or cold with me. Or anything with me for a while now. Isaac. Just forget it, man. Forget I called. Forget it all, yeah? Let's just forget we were ever anything but strangers. That's all we are now anyway. Isaac, recently I've been distracted, I know. Nah, don't worry about it. Really, we're good. Oh. Okay. So do you need anything, or should I? Where'd you get this? All of Dr. Asher's incoming and outgoing phone calls were recorded during the building's penumbra system, and the recording continued for several seconds after each call was ended for quality assurance. I need to check the terms and conditions of my next phone bill. Yeah. Oh, interesting. But it didn't list his specifically. Shall we hear the best? That'll be the last time. The last time I let someone. The last time. Father. Yeah, there it is. This is good art. But I think a character design like that just kind of makes good art. Phone call that took place between Isaac Porter and David Asher from 6:30, let's call it, 6:36 on the night he died. Isaac ended the relationship during the call. Because the call was received inside his home, it was automatically interpreted and recorded by the building's penumbra security system. Might just be a call, but it makes for pretty damning evidence at the point in this discussion. Emma's got her means, opportunity, motive all lined up. So why is she looking at me like that? That was depressing. Can we finish it up without anything else that horrible? Emma's never been apologetic of victory. So does this mean this is just... pity? Less than 2 hours before Dr. Aschur died, Isaac Porter ended their relationship over the phone. The court can make reasonable assumptions about what kind of mental state Dr. Aschur was in that night. It was a bad move, Ms. Rockford. And the people have nothing further to add. I'm feeling off my game all day. Top between corporate inbreeders and ant-brain protesters and... pitying me? Here and now? That's all it takes to get my blood properly boiling. It's about time for me to call my first witness, no? You want to keep going? Did that? What are you doing? What are you doing, counselor? Just calling the ultimate silver bullet, rock-solid slam dunk witness a girl could ask for. Is it Sarah? Oh. Is here good? Doesn't matter where I put my hands. Miss Starling, thank you for coming here today. Of course, whatever I can do. And what is your relation to the deceased? I was his executive assistant at Noble Electronics. I would arrange his meetings, coordinate communications between him and other departments. That sort of thing. Ultimate silver bullet. Starling's the only play I have right now. The only stalling tool I have left. Right now I should just focus on getting as much information from her as possible. Whether or not it's useful, at least buy me some time. Just as being sworn in, Sarah mentioned that the hard drive is about 60% decrypted. Considering the rate Sarah's gone at so far, maybe another hour? I might be able to stall that long if I talk real slow. I'd like to ask you a few questions about Dr. Aschur. Please, answer them to the best of your ability. Right. Dr. Aschur was a well-known public figure. What was he well-regarded professionally? Of course. Dr. Aschur's work set the bar for the entire automated dependent world. Alright, Sarah. Stay focused, spearmint. You say you coordinated his communications? Were there ever threats? Did people ever express an intent to harm him? I would assume near constantly. Objection. Calls for speculation. Intent. I'm feeling this is going to be sustained. Did anyone ever threaten him? There were times when he was the focus of negative attention. How so? Dr. Aschur was a favorite subject of many conspiracy theorists. With all his contributions to the field, it was easy for them to make claims about his influence. They'd say his work was plagiarized, or that he was hiding illegal subcommands in the technology he helped develop. And people would contact him about these conspiracy theories. Relevance. Whether or not people wanted to kill him? Well... Withdrawn. Miss Starling? People would attempt to contact him, yes. But their messages were always too vague for the police to take action on. They would say he belonged in jail, or that he couldn't avoid the truth, or that someone should do something to shut him up. Anyone ever talk about hurting him? Yes. But I always turn those messages straight over to the police. Yep, seeing that on the record. Yeesh, who writes this stuff?
All those cases have long since been resolved, Your Honor, and none of the parties involved have had contact with David Aschur in years. The police take harassment very seriously. Something you want to add, Counselor?
Just clearing my throat. May I continue? As I look at my evidence. Jessica Starling testifies that David Aschur had experienced harassment and stalking from conspiracy theorists throughout his career at Noble. Subtly, I'm thinking that somebody got into his house at some point, maybe, and then changed preset number 19. It's not like I had a name or anything to be the poison, and he was like flavoring his drinks or something. It's a theory, a shaky one. You worked with Dr. Aschur for many years. Did you have a relationship outside of work? Did you ever... I forgot she was supposed to be talking slowly. Talk about anything besides professional concerns?
Sure, we got out to dinner or met on the weekends. I think he'd like to pick my brain since he needed relationship advice a lot. Even if he didn't realize what he was asking for. I'd like to think he knew he could talk to me, but...
Did he ever talk to you? Or, to your knowledge, anyone else about hurting himself?
God, no, never.
Do you know of any history he might have had with mental illness, depression, anxiety?
No.
So, when you heard the people argue that Dr. Aschur had done this to himself,
I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
You're saying that you can't believe...
Objection.
On what grounds?
Asked and answered. Stalling, and also... The people have documents that would be of interest to the court on this matter.
Juicy.
What matter specifically are you referring to?
The deceased's mental health history. I wouldn't be speaking of if she didn't have something real. So what the hell is this about?
We have private correspondences that describe...
If they're private, then they should not have been obtained by the people without his permission.
He can't give permission if he's already dead. And as we're well within our rights to obtain evidence as it pertains to his crime. Convincing!
Didn't honestly expect her to stop from admitting her evidence to the record. But I was hoping to at least slow her. How are you on that footage?
77%. Approximately.
Ah, it didn't catch up. My gate's too high. I need to buy whatever time I can. However I can. Even if that means running out the clock as a punching bag.
I have here a message between Dr. Aschur and a psychiatrist he was meeting with and speaking for the past year, along with paperwork detailing how his treatment was covered under his platinum plan.
Could use his platinum insurance policy and David Aschur's name used to schedule and pay for psychiatric appointments on several occasions in the past year. Interesting. Was that any different from that other thing that he had? His, there it is. The Executive 4 plan. Interesting. Platinum.
I don't intend to air all of Dr. Aschur's secrets here in the court.
Oh, okay, I guess.
But I am prepared to read excerpts from messages and transcripts from phone calls, which, when put together, paints a clear picture of the kind of stress Dr. Aschur was experiencing and the dark thoughts he was struggling with.
Transcripts of his phone calls?
I'll admit them into evidence, assuming there are no objections.
It's a -12 blind. but I don't think there's anything strange yet. No, I don't believe I object. Except what she said. No, I do object.
Let's hear that the first time, yeah?
On the grounds of foundation. Where did you say you got this?
It was retrieved from his digital records. There's no reason to doubt its authenticity.
Even, however, would point out that David has an executive level 4 plan and not a platinum plan. Shit, I knew it. I thought it was like a platinum plan with a therapist or some shit.
Really?
Really? Yes, really. It's all there in the record.
This is easily explained. David had an executive level plan that Noble managed for him, and he was also seeing the psychiatrist, both in person and over the phone. Your own witness has attested that he dealt with stalkers and was worried for his privacy. So it's easy enough for a person to have separate insurance policy he paid for on his own, even if only to keep one thing out of Noble's grasp.
Sure, easy enough to make that assumption. But that doesn't make it correct. David used a separate insurance to hide his psychiatrist from Noble's spying? No, he was smarter than that. Ooh. So the claim is David hid psychiatrist treatments from Noble. David, before he died, didn't see him add anything. Financial values worth lots of zeros. Yeah, that's right. I mean, what do I drag this over? Oh, I just put it over there. David Merrimel may well have wanted a private psychiatrist, someone who didn't work for Noble, who would have his best interests at heart. But if so, he wouldn't have contacted them over the phone. Not when he knows all his phone calls are being recorded. David Aschur is well versed in having every aspect of his life overanalyzed by data-hungry parasites. Do you really think he would try and hide mental health problems from them with a second insurance policy?
Apparently, yes, since I'm standing here with evidence that shows exactly that.
Does it, though?
Pardon me?
Yeah, like, what exactly are you suggesting, Counselor?
Still not decrypting? Well, it's difficult to...
Right. Hell, as well swing for the fences at this point. I'm not trying to muddle the issue or confuse the court, Your Honor. And I would never make the outlandish, unsubstantiated claims just for the sake of causing drama.
What are you?
I'm merely concerned that D.A. Rockford has been an unwitting pawn in an act of corporate espionage.
What?
If the markets were to open Monday with people believing that David Aschur, the man who programmed the brain of every noble android, was battling mental health issues for the last several months?
Objection, mischaracterization, foundation, all the rest? There's no corporate spies in this courtroom, Counselor, and there are no boogeyman hiding under the bench.
Oh, thank God. David Aschur was a once-in-a-generation intellect and an extremely valuable human asset to his employers. And his employers' many enemies would do whatever it takes to destroy his credibility now that he can't defend himself.
And he was also your personal... You shouldn't even be here arguing this case in the first place, Counselor. Now you're trying to call the police's evidence gathering into question? All because you can't admit for the past several months your friend has been seeing a psychiatrist every Monday and you didn't know?
That is...
Sorry, but like... Did you still need me up here?
The witness will refrain from interrupting when girls are fighting!
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, luck's been so far, Sarah's progress bar is probably moving backwards right about now. And his patience is wearing thin. So maybe my line shot to create any kind of reasonable doubt. I'd be happy to wrap up my questioning if the court will allow. That seems cool with me.
And my evidence, Your Honor, will it be entered into the court? I'd like to hear a bit about testimony before deciding.
That's fine, Your Honor.
As you were, counselor.
The stage of the game with a score where it's you could probably only ask one more question. Better make it count. So who can Starling tell us that no one else could? So what can Starling tell us that no one else could? She hadn't called me in the morning. I wouldn't be standing here. She only did that because Miss Starling, we're all gathered here to try and figure out what happened to Dr. Aschur last night. So please tell us, when exactly did he last? See you, contact you, make... Contact you could be interesting. Seeing... HQ, shit. Did I only get the one? If we're here to establish his mental health, she's his assistant. He would need to be in constant contact. Theoretically, anyway. Hold on. That light can be so finicky sometimes. When did he last see you? He was reckless. He almost never came out. There's no point in doing that. Meet you at HQ. Same with the reckless. Contact would probably be the best bet, right? I want to say it, but there's no point. If I want to... When was the last time you had contact with Dr. Aschur, Miss Starling?
Well, that's pretty easy to figure out. Let me just... Yeah, it was last night at 6:57. We checked it back and forth. There are records of some texts, but they're flagged as work-related. Does this court really think they're relevant, Your Honor?
Relevant. Oh, shit. The texting isn't relevant. The texting probably does make a big difference. I'm actually going to raise this. Yes! We're supposed to be stalling for time anyway. It could very well be the single most important piece of evidence in this whole trial.
What? Ooh, I just got chills. Don't know why, though.
Must be a coolant leak.
The defense doesn't know what they're talking about.
On the contrary. Ooh. Text message from David Aschur to Jessica Starling at 6:50, which is earlier than even when the what's her name showed up, when Young showed up. 6:57, and then he died. Oh hey, when did his boyfriend break up with him? Isaac's call happened at 6:30, let's say. 6:30 to 6:36. Then he texted with Starling, and then he had his meeting where he died. Text. Starling's text. David asked her to set up a meeting between the two of them and Evangeline Morgan on Tuesday to handle the transfer and ownership of the android Sarah. So he had plans, and people don't make plans if they plan to kill themselves. It's a classic. On the contrary, these texts are a vital piece of evidence that change the timeline of events as we know them. We know what happened to David last night, generally speaking. The order of events is critical, especially if Emma wants to make claims about David's state of mind. Select to place cards from your hand into the slots in the chronological order left to right. You can pick a card, back up, and place it in another slot if you change your mind, or use return to undo the last card you placed down. Fill in all slots to submit your answer. Luckily, I've been writing it down, so it's Isaac's call, David faints, Young's testimony, and Starling's text, I believe. Yes, that's it. Thanks to Miss Starling, now we've got a much clearer picture of the night's events. We know that Isaac Porter and David Aschur broke up at 6:30 p.m. And I was rooting for them so hard. And we know that David messaged his assistant Miss Starling at 6:57 p.m. David is on camera with witness from 7:30 to 8, and he was declared dead not long after. The people don't object to that timeline of events. We do question Counselor Morgan's reason for belaboring it. One last question, Miss Starling.
Yeah?
What was the nature of your conversation with Dr. Aschur?
Well, actually, we talked about you.
Hmm?
And how he wanted you to have his android. That I know you're there. Putting his affairs in order, I guess.
It might appear that way. Can you specify what his instructions were exactly? How did he want this done?
Well, he wanted me to bring you to his penthouse and help you get set up as the android's new owner.
Yes, Miss Starling, but when did he want this to happen?
Well, he said it was pretty urgent, so I should do the first thing Tuesday morning. Tuesday?
First thing Tuesday morning. David Aschur didn't like doing anything on Mondays. And was he going to be in attendance?
Well, actually, yes. He said he would work from home to help us. No way he intended for us to have that much trouble getting to.
Oh. Oh! To summarize, then, half an hour after he had already had his breakup and half an hour before his guest stars arrived, he was planning an appointment that would require his presence with you for next Tuesday.
That's right. He was.
Not something you would think if you were planning on dying that very night.
Yeah, you're right. That's
Your Honor. If David Aschur was preparing for the week ahead, a mere hour before he passed away, don't you think that people's assumptions about this mental state ought to be re-examined?
that's
Your logic is sound. Do people have a rebuttal?
if the court would just allow a moment.
Sounds like an opening to me. If we assume that Dr. Aschur was not suicidal and therefore did not kill himself, we must then ask ourselves who else had the means, motive, and opportunity to take his life. Until now, we've taken for granted the idea that the Delta must have come from his manufacturer from inside the house.
And I.
Not right now. But even if that's true, which it might be, that doesn't mean that he was the one who used the manufacturer.
Adonai.
Would you allow me a moment to confer, Your Honor? Sure, I want to throw away your momentum. I'm in the middle of something, sir.
Can't afford to let Rockford. Maybe an access to the hard drive's files.
What? Seriously?
As I said, progress with this type of encryption is exponential. It can be difficult to estimate.
Yeah, okay.
You have the footage from last night? I have the file.
Have you watched it?
I thought you'd want to know right away.
I guess it doesn't matter. Either this has our silver bullet, and we've got a case, or it doesn't and everything falls apart.
That seems quite risky.
The least risky path of victory we have. Seeing that's the only path of victory we have. Screw it. Upload it to the court computer.
Yes, Adonai.
Thank you for your patience, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
I'm awake. And I'm getting pretty hefty chunk of video data for breakfast.
You're submitting security footage into evidence? New security footage?
The police corroborated the witness testimony using the house's cameras. Security cameras installed by Noble as part of the penumbra system that allowed the parlor, the kitchen, but not the basement. During the course of my investigation, I uncovered a hidden security circuit buried in the deceased's own home system.
You. What?
The people said the Delta must have been in Dr. Aschur's cup because there's no other way for him to have ingested it. But we never saw him, or anyone else, put anything in his cup on camera.
Because he must have poisoned his drink off camera.
Exactly.
What?
That's the only possible explanation that he added the Delta to his drink off camera. He placed his cup inside the manufacturer, activated it, waited 2 minutes, and then walked upstairs to his death. But I'm about to present the court footage retrieved from his basement. Footage that will show by the time he retrieved the cup in the basement, it was already past 7:38. Meaning he didn't have the opportunity to poison himself. One clip of footage will prove all that? If it doesn't, I'm completely screwed. But it's not like I can lose the preliminary hearing extra hard. Anything other than a royal flush here means that I'm bust. So better to be the Joker who dances. The data has been entered in the court record. Sarah, show us when Dr. Aschur entered the basement.
Yes, Adonai. I'll search for it now. Here.
On screen. That's the bar, and the timestamp is 7:36. There. David's ashing the bottle of Rose River and leaving.
At 7:73.
7:30,
7:37. Just under the wire, as it were.
Is that it then? I came this far just to wait. Did he have cups with him?
Is there sound?
None at all. Keep it going. If you had to go back to get the cups.
Counselor?
What is that android doing on camera? Oh no!
It's at the bar.
Oh shit.
The android gave him the cups.
Shit. Shit.
That machine never stepped on camera upstairs. Not once. We don't know its whereabouts on the day of his death. It could have poisoned the cup whenever it wanted.
Shit.
What is this? I don't understand.
Your Honor.
Have the courtroom cleared.
Understood.
Please, someone. I don't know what's going on.
Sarah, you need to shut down.
Please tell me what I'm looking at. I don't remember any of that.
Do we have any callers available? Sarah, shut down now.
What did I please tell me what I...
That's in order. Is it off? Yeah, it's off. I've seen this before. I won't do anything until I reactivate it.
We don't know that. We don't know anything about this thing anymore.
That's...
Your Honor, in light of this most recent evidence, the people would like to withdraw their charges against Dr. Aschur and end the preliminary hearing. It has been made abundantly clear that David Aschur did not commit suicide.
Very well. The charges are withdrawn and the defendant is free to go. Well, as free as it can be in the afterlife. The case is dismissed.
Congratulations, Counselor Morgan.
Yay. Chalk up another victory for Morgan Esquire. Coming out positive, though, so that's nice. Now all I had to do is deal with the shitstorm of a decade. Whoopsie doodle, gang! Well, I managed to prove that David didn't kill himself. And in the process, I proved that his android did. Proved that the android that's been walking around with me all day is capable of murder. Killer robot. A true unbound AI with military-grade specs and at least one death to its name already. So much for avoiding the public eye.
Thank you for coming here on such short notice, Judge Barrows.
As if I'm doing you some kind of favor. I didn't realize I had any choice on the matter. This isn't some bad joke, is it, Miss Rockford?
I'm afraid not, Your Honor.
You know, I like the adjuncts. I always have. They deal with the criminal trials so that bookish, quiet, contemplative people like me can spend all day typing up arguments for obscure legal treatises. That's what I like to do. Oh boy, still no wait. Number 26, blood type A+, superior judge higher circuit. Air conditioning, espresso, and reclining chairs. Dislikes parking lots, noise pollution, and mud. Can I play with my charm, please? No. Heart's not in it. Avoids overspending on restaurants. Splurges on expensive hotels. Watches action movies. Interesting. Please, charm, please? Nothing? Anyway, fine. I don't like coming down here and dealing with all this heavy-handedness. Won't someone toiling away under the police state think of the poor bureaucrats? And I certainly don't like making rulings on anything as spicy as AI. She can barely bring herself to say it. And you, Counselor Morgan? You're the one it's registered to? That is correct, Your Honor. So what did it do exactly? Torture an animal? Shut down a hospital? Cash a coin market?
We have it on camera poisoning a man, killing its creator.
You mean Dr. Aschur? That is We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. All we can do is try and wrap it up quickly. Let's make haste, Adjunctant. Do you have the case number?
Case ID 241277A, docket number YT9843188282.
Thank you. Can you repeat that?
YT9843188282.
I think I lost you after the first 8.
I have it copied here.
And what are the security procedures for an incident of this nature?
A data quarantine is to be established around any networks the subject was exposed to for more than 66 seconds. All offending hardware is to be destroyed immediately through incineration at a minimum temperature of 3,422 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes.
Sorry, Spearman. Nothing to be done, no duty to be had. This isn't even really a decision. Sorry, Sarah. Sorry, Sarah. Not Spearmint. David gave you that name. I should at least make it the effort to use it. That sounds very hot. Do we have any furnaces that get that hot?
Of course! There are a number of industrial furnaces within the city limits that I can recommend.
Sorry. Why should I be sorry anyway? I fulfilled the request. Favor repaid. I don't owe Sarah anything. Especially not if it killed my friend. Right, Morgan?
I'm sorry?
I was just saying how grateful I am that we have the procedure for this kind of thing all laid out already.
Yeah, keeps things nice and simple.
It can feel somewhat severe going through these steps so quickly, but nothing, Your Honor. Artificial intelligence is perhaps the greatest threat to human civilization and the sanctity of life there's ever been. Any piece of software, big or small, no matter the vessel, if it can violate the tenets it was programmed with, has the potential to cripple our nation in a matter of moments. Yes, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Straight from the textbook, almost.
Well, I mean it. Monsters like that don't belong in this world. They should never have been born in the first place. Destroying them is a kindness. But if anyone's to blame, it's... No one's blaming you, Counselor. You couldn't have known you were in possession of an AI. I'm talking too much. Probably just tired. Been a long day, and I've had a lot of thoughts. Sorry, Sarah. Whatever you are. You were just born wrong. Not your fault, necessarily. If it were up to me, you'd get points for trying. Trying to be something more. Trying to be something at all. Or anything other than what you are. Plus stupid, of course. And futile. Pointless, spending hours in front of a TV or laying in bed staring at your phone. Watching stupid movies and trying to paper mache an ill-fitted mask of humanity out of the scraps you could tear out of magazines. Practicing expressions and memorizing lines and trying to get something to take root and grow despite knowing that you have nothing to feed on. Stupid. We'll get you out of this experiment. But not right now.
That's as good as places I need to stop, right? Although personally, I do kind of wish that I got it just a little bit before. I do and don't at the same time.
Yeah, boy.
Any new bonuses?
Concept Gallery bonus scenarios. Start episode 1. Main menu. Nope. Not as far as I know, anyway.
The heartbreak killer. That's funny. The heart fake killer. Smile. These are all really good designs, actually. I'm really glad what we got of Sarah.
Nah, whatever. Bonus scenarios. That's right. As they're interviewing everybody, yeah. Unfortunately, I've already read through them all. All right, back to it. Back to the main menu, anyway. We won't see the resolution of this until 2 weeks from now, which kind of sucks because this is getting really good. But, c'est la vie. In the meantime, I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, rest of your week. Hope you're all taking care of yourselves out there, and don't do anything incriminating. But if you do, don't incriminate yourself. Stay safe out there. Bye.